You know, in this digital world we live in, who really owns anything creative? It's a massive question, right? It affects authors, it affects fans, and yeah, it even affects the AI models being built as we speak. Today, we're going to dive into a potential answer for 2026 and beyond, a whole new framework called the Open World License, and it's designed to untangle some of these huge, modern-day challenges.
All right, let me ask you something. Think about that ebook you bought, the one sitting on your tablet. Do you really own it? I mean, with a physical book, you can lend it to a friend, you can sell it, you can give it away, no problem. But with a digital file, suddenly that whole idea of ownership gets super fuzzy really fast.
And hey, for all you creators out there, what's the deal with fan fiction? It is a massive, incredibly passionate community. But let's be honest, you're always kind of walking on eggshells in this legal gray area. Can you actually share that amazing story you wrote, based on a world you love, without worrying about a cease and desist letter showing up?
And finally, the big one, the one everyone is talking about, AI. Should an artificial intelligence be allowed to just read and learn from an author's entire life's work? It's easily one of the most intense and controversial issues of our time. And look, these are the kinds of problems that are screaming for a new solution.
And that's exactly where the Open World License steps in. It's a modern framework built from the ground up to bring some much-needed clarity to these really complex digital age problems.
So what is this thing really? Well, the easiest way to think about it is like the Creative Commons licenses a lot of us already know and use. This isn't some rigid, one-size-fits-all kind of deal. Nope. It's a flexible system that lets the original author, the person who actually holds the copyright, customize the rules for their own work.
Okay, to really get how this works, we need to wrap our heads around a brand new distinction, the difference between owning a digital file and just holding it. This idea is the absolute key to bringing that simple, wonderful act of lending a book into the digital age.
So the license splits things into two really clear roles. First, you've got the owner. That's you, the person who actually bought and paid for a copy of the work. Simple enough. But then there's the holder. Now, that's just whoever has the copy at the moment. It could be the owner, sure, but it could also be a friend they've loaned it to.
And the process itself? It's so simple. Check this out. The author sells a copy. The person who buys it becomes the permanent owner of that one copy. But then, when they decide to lend it to a friend, that friend just temporarily becomes the holder. See? It's totally intuitive because it's exactly how we've been sharing physical books for hundreds of years.
So you're probably wondering, how does the original author actually control all this sharing? That's where this little n variable in the OWN license comes into play. The author gets to set this number. So for example, with an OW5 license, for every single copy sold, the owner can lend it out so that up to 5 people, that's the owner plus 4 friends, can be holders at the same time. This gives the original creator direct control, which is huge.
But the license doesn't stop with just lending. Nope, it's got these cool modular add-ons that are built to tackle those other big issues we talked about, fan fiction and AI.
Think of this as the creator's control panel. You've got your base on license over on the left, but then authors can choose to add these modules like CU for character usage or AL and AP for AI permissions. Let's dive into what these actually mean.
The CU module is, and I am not exaggerating, a total game changer for fan fiction. By adding this, an author basically gives a green light, explicit legal permission for other people to write stories using their characters. And the only requirement? Just give credit to the original creator. That's it. It just erases all that legal fear and encourages so much more creativity.
And what about AI? While the default setting is prohibited right out of the box, but an author can choose to open things up. With AL, which stands for AI lenient, they can allow their work to be used for AI training as long as they get credit. Or they can go all in with AP, AI permissive, and grant totally unrestricted use. The point is, the choice, it's all back in the creator's hands.
Now this brings us to a really important point when we're talking about stuff like fan fiction. The Open World License does not require the new author to pay the original creator anything. Any kind of royalty sharing is completely up to them. It's discretionary. The whole goal here is to spark creation, not to build financial walls. If a fan fiction author hits it big and wants to share their earnings, that's awesome, but they are never, ever forced to.
So this whole system isn't just built for today's internet. It's actually designed with a sharp eye on the future of technology, especially things like digital rights management, DRM and NFTs. Which kind of begs the question, right? How on earth can you track a digital file? It's not like a book sitting on a shelf in one location. This is where a lot of current DRM and NFT systems kind of fall down.
And this is where that whole owner versus holder idea comes back in such a huge way. It provides the perfect logical blueprint for a future system, maybe one that uses NFTs or something similar that could actually track digital ownership properly. Imagine a system that doesn't just prove who bought the ebook, but can also manage who's temporarily holding it. This license is basically ready and waiting for a technology that doesn't even fully exist yet.
So when you put it all together, what does it all mean? Well, we have a system that could finally clarify digital ownership, legally empower huge fan communities, and give creators total control over AI, all while getting ready for future tech. It really just leaves us with one big question. Are flexible, creator-led frameworks just like this one the real key to unlocking a much more collaborative and creative future for all of us?